Quality education is education that allows me to be innovative and creative. Quality education is education that allows young people, that allow kids to come up with ideas and be innovative and solve world issues, to be aware of their surroundings and to learn how to grow and to help others, and at the same time to work in groups and not compete amongst themselves.
Dear listeners, I hope you are having a fantastic time wherever you're listening from. Welcome to Hello Future Speaking podcast. My name is Khadija Amahal, I'm from Morocco, and I will be the host of today's episode. I am joined today with my amazing Youth Advisory Committee colleagues, Grace from South Sudan and Salim from Algeria. Before we dive into today's episode, I would like to give you a little background of the Youth Advisory Committee, also known as YAC. We are a group of 10 enthusiastic young leaders from 10 different countries, and we represent the voice of youth. The YAC provides a platform for ongoing dialogue and cooperation between the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs and international youth on policies related to the Youth at Heart strategy, like education, work, and youth participation, with a main focus on youth in the Horn of Africa, the Sahel, and the MENA region. Education is a basic human right, but why is quality education not accessible for everyone? Grace, what do you think?
I think that's a very good question, and every person in charge of any education system or any government or any policy around education should ask themselves a question. Why is it that in our countries, in our different contexts, it's a luxury for someone to access education, and most importantly, quality education itself? Even when education is available, it doesn't meet the needs of the labor market. It doesn't apply in real life. And we are stuck in a cycle where the education system itself is an industry that continues to drag young people behind. So quality education to me is about the need. When education is unnecessary and does not give me the skills I need to apply in real life, that's not quality education. Quality education is education that allows me to be innovative and creative. Quality education is education that allows young people, that allow kids to come up with ideas and be innovative and solve world issues, to be aware of their surroundings and to learn how to grow and to help others, and at the same time to work in groups and not compete amongst themselves. You know, in our education system, we have numerical order. Everyone wants to be first in class, and then creating this environment of competitiveness instead of teamwork. And in the real world, you want to learn how to work in a team. You want to learn how to work with others to achieve a common goal. So education systems that are of quality education itself, first of all, why are educations different? Why is it that we do not have an understanding what I learned in a different country is different here? How else do I assimilate in the globalization, in this global market, when the education in my country is different from where I want to trade eventually? That is quality education to me.
I like that, Grace. Thank you very much. Salim, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with what Grace said. We should always remind our policymakers and our government about what's the requirements for higher education. Quality that stands out. It makes people more productive. Because what I see in our education system is everyone is competing for grades and to get a better average. But when you see the statistics that maybe 1% of the graduates from the higher education, you will find them have a job or are working in international organizations or even have their own startups, because all the skills that they get within their education, it's not really fit with job market. So I think personally, I define that quality education, that it is an education that enables me to have the skills that I can access any opportunity in the world.
Yeah, I think definitely I do agree with you both. Quality education is the education that enables the students to grow, to think, to unleash their potential, to be critical thinkers, and at the same time to be comfortable and to enjoy that process. And I can hear from both of you that quality education is the education that provides the skills that are necessary for students to use in real life. That leads me to the question that I have for you, Grace. For the fact that we often hear that education is key to be employed, why isn't a graduation certificate enough to access the job market?
The question is very broad, and I'll start by defining the faults of the education systems itself and the labor market itself. When we use education system of the industrial age that were meant to grow and produce more manufacturing company workers, these are people who worked under a scheme, under a table. They were organized in levels. They were organized to achieve one product and to work for someone else. And if you look at our education system, it's the same thing. We go from level to level. We work under a timetable. We follow a structured system that we are not allowed to move out of. We're given what to learn, and we're taught to be competitive within our space. These education systems do not apply much by itself to the needs of the market now. The market today wants you to know how to be competitive at the same time to work in teams. The market today wants you to be innovative and not follow a structure that is there, but if anything else, to break the structure and come up with structures that work for you. The markets today do not want you to be told when to do the work, but use yourself to find out when you should do the work. Industrial age skills and systems do not apply today. And itself, it teaches young people one thing. You go to school, you study so hard, you get good grades, and when you finish, you get a good job and you work so hard, and then you retire, and then you stay home and you work on pensions, and that's it. That's what we're taught. But to be honest, is that reality? It often isn't. I personally, in my university, worked with so many people through my contacts. I did a lot of volunteering while studying for many companies. I did a lot of volunteering for UN organizations, for embassies. I attended hundreds of workshops. And to be honest, when I got out of university, my first job was because of some workshop I attended and someone who knew the potential I had. But if it was supposed to rely on the university degree itself, I would not qualify for any job. Even job entry jobs need at least a system of volunteering. It needs you to know the space. And learning from that, I tell many people, you could have a 3.9 GPA out of 4. And if you do not have a network, if you do not know how to work with other people, if you do not have similarities with the field, you're going to end up doing and not being able to access employment. At the same time, digital space provides an opportunity for creativity itself. And creativity is complicated in terms of when young people have one solution for unemployment. I also don't just blame young people. I also blame the labor law systems. First of all, that do not provide space for entry-level opportunities. I even know internships that where young people are not paid, pay interns. I also know organizations that do not encourage accepting new graduates into their organizations. I know organizations that do best practices and allow opportunities for internships, for volunteers, to be able to get the perfect people, even through universities as well. And governments that provide young people with startups, opportunities to get TVET skills that they can use to develop and to be creative, to develop enterprises themselves and self-proprietorship organizations. So moving away from the perfect GPA to the perfect skill, to the perfect network, and to the perfect environment that enables innovation and creativity. That's what allows young people to get to work, to get employment, or to be in startups. But moving away from the idea that good grades will get you good jobs.
So many valuable advices that definitely young people can use to grow and also to have access to those opportunities. Thank you so much, Grace. Another issue when it comes to education is the fact that there are many available opportunities for young people to benefit from scholarships and to travel overseas. Yet, not everyone is informed about these opportunities, and the application process requires skills that are not accessible for everyone. Salim, can you give us your input on this topic?
Yeah, thank you, Khadija, for this question. I think it's very interesting to see this question in this conversation because as we can see, a lot of opportunities. Personally, I get a lot of questions from my followers. By the way, I make content in TikTok, Instagram about education. Mainly, I'm sharing opportunities and scholarships for people. And what I noticed from the questions of those students or graduates, that they suffer a lot from finishing the application. And that's due to the problem that they face when applying, because as a scholarship provider or as a university, they are looking for a specific skills. And they have to see those skills in your CV, in your application. So I think one of the reasons that prevent those people that you mentioned from getting these scholarships is they are not well informed about the scholarships. That's the first problem, because I think the scholarships providers, usually they just post it in their website or Facebook groups, but they don't do like open days to introduce those scholarships and how to apply. Sometimes people, they ask me like these questions: how much I can pay for this scholarship, although it's called free scholarship. So they don't know even what's the scholarship. So they should maybe make more webinars online. It can inform more people to apply for these scholarships. And also, coming to the second issue is the skills. Like, to apply for scholarships, you need specific skills. I can mention one of them is academic writing. You have to write good essays. I think we don't have this course in the university, so they should have those soft skills that they can help them to provide a good application. Also, storytelling. I think a lot of people had very interesting stories that they can share in their personal statement or motivation letter, but they lack those skills, how to tell and how to promote themselves. So I think we should include those soft skills as courses in the university, or even as extracurricular activities in the university, hosted by some people who already benefit from those scholarships. They can provide those courses. They even record them and put them in the university website. And personally, I'm doing my best to do that through my social media accounts by sharing daily news about scholarships, and sometimes I give them even tips, and sometimes, if I had time, organize webinars to answer their questions and provide more tips about how to apply for scholarships. I think we need like a collective effort to solve this problem, from the scholarship providers, from the university, and also from the students who already benefit from these scholarships. They should not be selfish. They should be promoting for the scholarship they already got, and simplify them to future applicants.
Yeah, I can pick up many recommendations from what you just said. And I also highlight and salute your personal effort to make these opportunities accessible for everyone. And this is also an invitation to anyone who has benefited from a similar opportunity to also share and to spread information about it. Thank you so much, Salim. A lot was already shared by you from the input that you provided on things that can be improved and recommendations for actions. But I want to hear more from you about specific calls to actions that you can offer in order to improve access to quality education. And I will start with you first, Grace.
Thank you so much. I spoke a lot about education system and how they fail. And it is supposed to be first in every country's agenda to review our education systems, either at legislative level, at schools levels, and making it a priority that what we teach children and youth, young people in school is something that helps them grow and get employment or be creative and innovative. At the same time, even university skills that we give young people are often a mismatch itself. And asking young people what they want, listening to them when giving them skills in TVETs, in vocational trainings, and taking into consideration the global idea of digitalization and globalization. And at the same time, for young people themselves, living in context of knowing that you need to create networks, and a certificate itself is not enough. I think we all agree on that. And quality education is also affordable by itself. When young people cannot afford education, then the education cannot afford quality education. It's income inequality. It's leaving out a huge population that should be accessing, as we mentioned before, education is a basic right. So removing barriers of education for young people, apart from just making it meet their needs, barriers of education could be access. So looking into more schools in the villages, more schools in remote areas. We even know that for some areas, like where I'm from in South Sudan, girls cannot access education, even if it's quality, because they have to walk for miles and their safety is at risk. And then even knowing what is missing, because we had a program where an organization was developing curricula. They developed curriculums, they printed books, but they sent books to people who do not have teachers to learn how to read these books. Because then you realize the real root of the problem is they were not teachers. And then why were they not teachers? Because teachers were not being paid enough. And the teachers had to look for new forms of living. And those who were around did not have schools and could not even access schools because of the situation. So looking at what other issues affect education by itself, apart from the system itself.
Thank you very much, Grace. Many calls to actions, and I really hope that they are taken into considerations by anyone who is in charge. Salim, what's your call to action?
Yeah, I totally agree with Grace said. It's not only about education, like improving our curriculum, improving our language policies. It's also about the whole environment, like making teachers feel comfortable, have more and big salaries that can make them feel more comfortable teaching in any circumstances. Also, the internet, as you can see now, it's something that we rely a lot in our education. So it should be access to education through the internet, even for people in rural places. Nowadays, you don't need to build a new university or something like that. You can upload a lot of courses and even trainings just online. So improving the internet will be one of those keys that can improve education for sure. And also include some soft skills trainings in our education, like some fundamental skills that enable our students to work as a teamwork skills, also critical thinking skills, because I think those skills combined with the degree, they can really help you to escape poverty. Because I think in Africa we have like a different definition for education than Europe or other countries. Like, people go to school because they want to have better jobs, they want to help their families, they want to escape poverty, and they think having a quality education that suitable for them can really help them to achieve this one.
Absolutely. Combination of skills, training, capacity building, and also access to internet and digitalizations are important and key to providing access to quality education for all. Salim, Grace, thank you so much for your insightful input today. Thank you everyone for listening, and I invite you to stay tuned for our next episodes. Until we meet again, we wish you a delightful time.